Saying hello again to Anthony Andronico for his new role as appointed Ward 2 City Councilor and also his previous role as school committee vice chair. So, Anthony, anything else that you want to, do while we're talking?
No, not right now. I'm grateful to be back, and I'm still getting used to the new title as well. But I'm looking forward to getting to work for the people of Ward Two and the city of Quincy in a new role. And I know that my colleagues on the school committee are more than capable to handle my absence over there. We've got a great group over there.
Well, congratulations on your appointment, certainly, and I look forward to continuing our discussion. I hope as your new role as ward councilor, please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to continue that with you.
Yeah, no, I'd really appreciate that, and I know a lot of folks have reached out, and they seem to like the brief updates that we're able to give, and I think just as a public official that's something that we should be committed to. It's another layer of transparency for the public.
Of course, even as a ward councilor, schools are going to be a big part of what you do, in elected office, certainly. And of course, the biggest part of that this year is going to be dealing with the pandemic.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, we've been, developing reopening plans behind the scenes to get kids in school full time, 5 days a week for months now. And I know a lot of people have been, concerned and wondering where these plans been. And a lot of it has to deal with two issues. And the first is just available staff. When the virus spiked and there were a lot of cases, when you had as many staff as we had in quarantine, you still need to run a full remote school and then your hybrid in-person school. You need to have the staff to be able to do that. So going to full-time learning was difficult. And the other part is just spacing. We want to be able to maintain that 6-foot space between students and staff at all times when they're in person to make sure that the learning environment is safe according to our public health officials. So those are the two main hurdles. But the update that we gave the other night is that on February 22nd, right after February vacation, students in grades 1 to 3 who are in a hybrid model right now will be given the option to go full-time 5 days a week, 4 full days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we've got that half day on Wednesday. And on the Wednesday afternoons, there will be deep cleaning, and we'll go from there. And folks were curious about, well, why not kindergarten and grades 4 to 5? And the reason is one of the things I had mentioned earlier, and that's spacing issues. But the superintendent and the team are on top of it, working to find that space and a layout that makes sense for adhering to the public health guidelines.
So how many of those students are there now, Anthony, that are doing the hybrid that could potentially come back full time?
Roughly, the numbers per grade vary somewhere between 40 and 60%. It depends on the school, but for the most part, it's been a 50-50 split of students that have chosen hybrid and students that have selected the full remote option.
Okay, but obviously you've worked out the numbers, so if all of them decide they want to come back full time, you can accommodate.
We know that we'd be able to for grades 1, 2, and 3, which is why we're able to put that out first. But I know the superintendent and team are really keen on getting all of our students back. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to see a rollout of all the students back in the building. And I am really happy that we were able to get that that plan announced during my last meeting. It's something that I've been working really hard on behind the scenes with my colleagues on. And I'm glad to get that update for families.
Yeah, so what's the process? How will it work? How will the folks be notified, and how do they notify the school department?
Yep. So notices will be sent out to eligible families this week, not this week, next week, the first week of February, and then the deadline will be the following week, and then the week after that, students can return. So a little bit of a lag, but the administrative team is on top of it, and they provided additional info on just the registration process at our meeting.
Okay, and will they have the same teacher, Anthony? Will that continuity continue?
Right. That's one of the larger issues that families have talked about is switching from hybrid to remote. You've got your in-person teacher, you've got your remote teacher, and it can be difficult for kids when they're switching teachers all the time. But one of the advantages to this is you'll have the same teacher. And in that way, whether you're remote or in person, you'll always have the same teacher if your grade has the option to go back full time. So that's one of the advantages to it, and that's why we're really pushing it to move forward.
Yeah. What about the transportation issue? Will that have an impact at all on getting kids to the schools?
Now, we didn't go in depth on that at the meeting, but I know the superintendent and team wouldn't put forth a plan that wouldn't be able to accommodate families. I know a while back now, it seems like forever ago in early 2020, the school committee had to update the transportation policy just to adjust how many families were eligible within a certain radius from the school. That was a decision we really didn't want to make, but one that we had to make based off of the advice of our transportation team.
Okay, so that won't change right now. Then that's going to have to stay in place.
Not at the moment, right?
Okay, interesting. Why did you start with the younger kids and not middle and high school?
One of the things that we'd seen early on from the surveys that we put out with the reopening plans was that families who have younger children and just in general, kids who are younger need that in-person instruction. It is more difficult to administer an online education to a child that is 6, 7 years old than it is to a high school student. The type of education that they need is just more hands-on. And that's why we're starting with the younger grades. And I know those in middle school and high school are frustrated and they want to get back too. So I know that the team will continue to work on a plan to get those kids back safely as well. And, in general, we're hoping that with the rollout of the vaccine here in Quincy that, we'll be able to get our teachers vaccinated and get everyone in the community vaccinated in a smooth timeline so that, we can return to more normal life.
Yeah. Has the retirement of the health commissioner had any impact on your decision-making process?
No, not at the moment. I mean, we talked about that a little bit at our last couple of meetings, and I just want to say to Ruth Jones, she was a phenomenal health commissioner. She came in and really helped QPS, helped the city out in a way that I think other towns' health commissioners were not able to do. Her expertise and her knowledge were just so helpful to us. And she has a great team in place. And in QPS, we've got incredible nurses who are on top of their stuff too. So, we always take the feedback from those that we trust and hire here within QPS in the city of Quincy. And it's been so far a smooth transition. But I know that, the mayor and the city are looking and interviewing other candidates to take over Ruth's role.
Sure. Now, for a full in-person, I'm assuming mask wearing, hand sanitizing, all of those protocols still in place?
Right. And anything that would have been or is in our hybrid plan, as far as protocols are concerned, remains in the in-person plan. But this time around, we were able to get the space that we needed, and those protocols will remain in place. We're not changing from 6-foot distance to 3-foot distance or anything like that.
Okay, very good. So February the 22nd is
That's right.
Yeah.
We're excited for it.
Great. Now, can we switch? Put your ward council hat on, Anthony. Step into the phone booth.
I'll do my best.
I got a chance to see the swearing-in ceremony at City Hall. It was really nice to have your family there, I'm sure.
It absolutely was. To have my father, my namesake, there next to me. He's been my role model and someone that I look up to. During my time in public service, and of course my fiance Hannah. She has taken on, I think, the majority share, and that might be a little disingenuous of the wedding planning. And she's really allowed me the last few months to give my all to public service, and it means a lot to me that they were able to be there for the swearing-in ceremony.
Sure. So, what happens with your school committee seat now? What's the process?
So I officially resigned at the adjournment of this last meeting that we talked about, and really from then it sets a similar timeline to when Councillor Kroll resigned, and basically you got 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks to take submissions, and then the city council and the school committee need to vote, or rather join in one session and take a vote on an appointment to fill the remainder of my term, which also expires at the end of this year.
Yeah. Will you be able to vote for your successor?
I will. As a city councilor, I will be able to vote for my successor. And, I know there are a couple folks who, for now, will remain nameless that have expressed interest. But I think, what we saw with people that stepped up for the Ward 2 seat is there are some great people in the city of Quincy who are willing to step up for their community. And I'm looking forward to seeing who those folks are and reading their resumes and letters of intent.
Yeah. So will you run for re-election for Ward 2 in the fall?
Come on, I've been a city councilor for one day. To be perfectly honest, I hadn't thought about re-election this time. I think just everything going on with the pandemic, trying to get students back into class, and with our reopening plans, I haven't really had the time to sit down and think about the political aspect of it. But I think for now, the next few months at the very least, I'm just going to be focused on getting the lay of the land on the city council, making sure I get back to folks, and letting people know that they can always reach out to me, and I'll respond to them and make sure that they're all set. So that's what I'm focused on right now. And we can talk about I guess it'd be election, not re-election, in a few months at I would think a more appropriate time.
That's true, yeah, because it was an appointment this time, not an election. So
right,
yeah, gotta get used to those questions, Anthony, because
I know I understand. You got to ask them, but
so let's talk about some of your first priorities on the city council for Ward 2. What do you plan to do?
Yeah, I mean the first thing just about being a city councilor and really a public official is listening. You don't always have the answers. You need to make sure that you're talking with folks in your community to make sure that you know what's going on. You address their concerns. The first order of business for me is to get virtual office hours set up over the next few weeks so that people can just drop in, talk to me about an issue they have, an idea they have about improving the city of Quincy or Ward 2, or even just to say hello and get to know who I am and my style. So going over office hours. Setting up an e-newsletter so people can stay updated on the latest news every month, and also enrolling a website to better serve constituents where they can submit assistance requests. So let's say you need a pothole fixed, or you need your street light fixed, that you can just go to my website and send a quick assistance request form and go from there. So that's really the first step. But outside of that, I've had the chance to go up Faxon Park a few times, and in the fall I went up with former Councilor Kroll and just the community police up there, and we talked a little bit about the trails, the issue with the homeless population, setting up camps in the area, and not really making it as family friendly an area that some would like it. There are 2 trails up there that are recently established to be able to walk around, sort of the more woodsy area of Faxon, and instead of just on the pavement, and people don't really feel too safe going those routes right now. So I think working with the police, working with the community to find a solution, and also working with the folks that are in these situations to find out how the city can help them so that we can address this situation overall. And aside from that, also within Faxon Park, I know there's funding that's set aside for potential projects, and just making sure in the next couple of months that I set up a community meeting so that whatever takes place there, when I say development, I mean additional trails, ball fields, things of that nature, that it's exactly what the community wants, and they're driving the conversation, and not myself, someone from the city, or an architect or developer that has plans for trails, as thinks they know what's best for the community.
Yeah. Do you think your day job at the State House is going to assist you here in the city level?
I'd say absolutely. As vice chair of the school committee, it helped me immensely. Just understanding the state's thinking on local aid, education funding, any grant opportunities for the city, for community organizations. That's information that I'm able to get in real time and then give out to the people of Quincy, if I'm allowed to do so. So, that's been really helpful over the last few years, and I think it will continue to serve the people of Quincy well in my new role.
All right. I won't ask you for any contact information yet, because I'm sure it hasn't been established yet, but as soon as it is, please let us know.
I'll absolutely do that. And I know it will be updated on the City of Quincy website, just under the ward council information. And actually later today, that should be all set up. So I don't have an update on the contact info right now, but this afternoon I will. And if people are curious, just how to reach me in the meantime, I am set up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at the handle AJ Andronico. So if you look that up in any of those social media platforms, you'll be able to find me.
Okay. Appreciate it, Anthony. Great to chat with you. Congratulations again. Please consider us a community partner here at QATV. We had a great relationship with Councilor Crow, and we look forward to continuing that with you.
No, absolutely. And I've always enjoyed our chats, and I think that, it would be a great opportunity to continue to let the people know what's going on.
Sounds good. All right. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.